As a judge, I use this pretty much as a diversion calendar, meaning my goal as a judge is to try to get fathers, non-custodial parents to consistently pay their child support, especially if it can come through an income deduction order. And what that does, in my opinion, it helps heal the relationships between the parties, because in most of these cases, the parents do not have a good relationship. So the fathers aren't seeing their children because mothers don't let them see the children. Mothers are sometimes upset. I'm not, if it doesn't apply to you, please don't take that case personally, but I've been doing this case for 19 years, and that's exactly what it is. The parties break up. Moms are doing their thing. They've got their jobs. They're supporting their children, their children, and then dads move on, and dads aren't supporting or in the children's life. And there's a whole, unfortunately, a separation between the parties, and the parties lose the principle of understanding, because the law makes a presumption of two things. The law presumes it's in the best interest of every child to have their mother and their father in their life. And the law also makes a presumption that it's in the best interest for the child to live as though they had the income from both parents. Okay.
Judge, I tried numerous times to get Mr. Johnson. He did not respond. He says his number is unreachable.
Okay. Ms. Brown, do you have an updated phone number for him?
I don't. I have that same number as well. I did just contact his mom and have her make him aware. She said she'll let him know.
Okay. So what I have here is in December, he paid $884. I told him to try to pay $300 for January and February, or $50, or probably said $60 a week. Review in March. This was a review. So it looks like he's been making efforts to try to pay. I know it's not enough, but he's supposed to. I probably told him to try to pay something like $75 a week or $50 a week. I don't remember. I usually put detailed notes, but I didn't put notes here as to what's going on with him regarding employment. Why isn't he working? I don't have that information. Let's see.
He did make you aware that he has a family business. That's how he has his income.
Okay, I usually take notes and I don't have any information. What kind of family business?
I believe it was something like a cooking business with his sister and his mom.
Let's see.
But I know when we was back here in December, he stated that he made a $3,000 payment.
Yeah, he made a payment. Have you received any substantial payments since the $1,884 in December?
I never received the $1,800.
It shows he paid it. Give me 1 second real quick. Hold on. All right, so it seems like he's fallen off because we don't have any contact with him. I mean, technically, let me just see here. Technically, he's paying something, so I'm kind of torn on issuing a warrant. I wish we had contact with him to see what's going on, because I sometimes it's like his child support is $250 plus $50 repay. I need to see if he's going to continuously pay the $45 to $50 a week. That's not the right amount, but if he continuously pays that, then state court's not going to issue a criminal warrant. They're not going to take his case. So March 11th, and child support's not here with me today. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see, we had a hearing. You filed in October. We had a hearing December. I usually give the case 6 months before I issue a warrant. We're almost there on this case, so let me just put a note. Let's see. Did the mother respond to you?
Yeah, she said she'll let him know now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. Okay. This was like 10, 15 minutes ago.
Okay. Okay, I really need to have him in court to figure out what's going on, because if he's trying to pay $50 a week or $45 a week because they're taking out fees, he needs to step up the amount that he's paying. But I don't remember. So let's give him a few minutes. You could text his mom and say the judge is saying she may have to issue a warrant if he doesn't come to court, see if that helps expedite getting him so I can see what's going on. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, Ms. Brown, just in case he joins us. I actually need his phone number, so he needs to call. If you don't mind, I'm sorry to put you through this, but if you could say the judge needs him to call the clerk's office at 404 to speak to.
Could you write that in the chat for me? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, Ms. Starks, do that for me. Ask him to call you, Ms. Starks, and we'll see if we could get him in court. If not, I'll just proceed. Okay, we'll see in a few minutes.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, we could just put Ms. Brown back in the waiting room. All right. You guys can come on for me, please. Ms. Lloyd, we're ready for your case. All right, dad's under a court order to pay $217 per month. If both of you could please raise your right hands. Do you swear any testimony you're about to present to the court will be the truth? If so, say I do. Just nod your head and say I do. Okay, good. Let me just look over the case. We first signed this in November, January 10th. We had a hearing, then February 9th, we had a hearing. Dad said he has an underlying case that I know is definitely maybe an issue for you. And then you also said you were working for Amazon on February 9th, and you said you were going to start making payments until an income deduction order came out. Your orders for $217. We only received a payment of about $135 in February and $90 in March. So I had told you to try to pay $150 every 2 weeks well, no, I didn't. It said each pay period starting 2 weeks. You're supposed to get an income deduction order because your child support is about $300. I did say pay $150. So what's going on? You said you were working. Why aren't you paying, Mr. Rhodes? You can unmute for me, please.
So unfortunately, as I was going to start before the training, my background came back and they didn't give me the job. But so I have another child support case. So I paid the first time I paid $300. So they split it. I can't do nothing about the split. I can't put in nobody's case number and it just goes straight to. So it don't matter what I do, is they're gonna split it and send however they want to send it. So I paid $300 that month, and then after that 2 weeks later I paid $200. I just paid $200 last week. No, this week. No, I think it was this week. I just paid $300.
How much is your other child support payment?
$279.
Okay, so basically, if you just paid the basic amount, you have $280 plus $220, kind of rounding it off. Well, the issue is that yes, they're always going to split, and it has to go. Tell me the status on the fatherhood program for you, because if you are going through what you're going through in your criminal history, that is going to impinge on your ability. But I forgot, how are you supporting yourself? You live with your
cousin. My cousin has a cleaning job, and as so is my mother. So when I do have a chance, I go and help. It's not a lot of money. That's why I was being able to pay $200 here, like week. I'm saying I'm being paid $200 last week and this week, and I was able to pay $300 that week.
Because of your background with that case pending, it's kind of tough. I'm not sure. Miss Lloyd, have you filed a contempt? Because if he's got that serious charge, I don't know who's going to hire him for employment and give him an income deduction order. You can't go full time with your mom or your cousin, Mr. Rhodes?
No, ma'am. There's not enough money.
Okay, what county are you living in?
I'm in Conyers right now.
Oh, you live in Conyers. Do you have transportation?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if have you gone to the fatherhood program already?
Yes, I tried to get back in. They said they denied me.
Have I given you a phone number, contact information to an agency that I know would hire you in the warehouse? If you have transportation, they'll hire you because they're looking for people that need a job and want a job, and they're immediate hire. Have I given you that information before?
No,
oh, let me give you that. It's an agency that reached out to me. Let's see. Because the problem is, Miss Lloyd, with the case that he has pending over his head, there's this child support is just not going to go anywhere. They're just going to cancel the order because he has such serious charges pending against him. Do you know when your case is going to trial?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
been 7 years.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let me give you that number, 470.545. All right, I'm going to put your case in the waiting room. I want you to call this number that I just sent you. Tell them that you were referred from the courts in DeKalb County. Find out some information if they have any hiring positions, and then I'm going to bring you back on so at least I know you can go pursue a job since you have transportation. I think most of the businesses are in DeKalb County, but I want you to give that location a call so I can have some type of plan of action, because you pretty much need to pay $500 a month to cover the child support for both of the moms. All right, so we're going to take a brief recess, and ma'am, I'll hear from you. Mom, I'll hear from you in just a minute. Let him go ahead and make a call. And that's an employment agency that I'm giving you, Mr. Rhodes. Go ahead and call, give that agency a call, tell them that you were referred from DeKalb County Magistrate Court. You wanted to know what the process is and if they have any positions, tell her what your background is or tell them him or her. And then let's talk about what she says, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're going to put you guys in a brief recess. Go ahead and mute. We're going to put you both in the waiting room just for a moment.
Just spoke with Mr. Johnson. Okay, would you
Okay.
like for me to type in messages or because he is at work.
So he works. Do we have an updated phone number for him?
I do have an updated phone number and email address.
Okay, hold on one second. I'll give you a call, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let me have a brief. So we'll have to put his case on the very next calendar. Let's go ahead and bring Mom in on that one, position 1.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Brown, so
Yes.
that's okay. My clerk was able to reach him. He's actually at work. Initially, if you recall, we had set this case for the 29th and reset it. So he said was taking off the 29th. He said he's sending in payments. I don't know if he has another child support, but he said he has been sending in payments. They're just not enough. So he's kind of complying enough to where I can't issue a warrant because he's making weekly payments, but they have to step up and pay more. He is working, so we can get an income deduction order. I don't have a child support agent with me today, but what I'm inclined to do is just go ahead and put it on my very next calendar. I'm going to have my clerk call him back later and tell him the payments are not enough. He needs to be paying at least. Do you know if he has another child support case? I usually put that in my information. I don't have my notes.
I'm not sure.
So he actually has a job because the clerk heard them calling him to come back. So that's good. I just need to figure out, well, why are you paying $45 or $50 a month? It seems to me, he's saying I'm making the payment. So it seems as though we need an income deduction order for the money to come directly out of his paycheck. And we also need to find out why it's not coming out of his paycheck, but because he's paying something weekly, even though it's not enough, it's about $160 that you should be getting per month. I know it's just starting, but I don't want to have him lose his job and stuff like that. So I'm going to give him a chance on this case and we'll reset it to the very next calendar so I can get an update. I did have it set for the 29th. It was rescheduled. He is right. Sometimes people just don't pay attention. And even though we did notice him, my clerk heard them telling him that he needs to get back to work. So I don't want him to lose his job because, God only knows how long it's been since he's been able to find a job. So my next calendar is going to be on the 12th of April. Are you able to attend then?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to have, let me just make my notes here. Let's just put, let me make docket notes real quick. Let's see.
I have one question. Because when we attended back in December, we did get a notice of reset back in March up until now. I still have that email. It says March 22nd. So I'm trying to see when did it ever change to the 29th.
I did have all the cases on the 29th and it was rescheduled to, I rescheduled the case to the 22nd. So it's okay. He's paying. I can't issue a warrant anyway because he's making payments. They're not sufficient. The law says substantially complying. So I can't issue a warrant anyway. Dad is working. Need to reset the case. Okay, both of you raise your right hand for me, please. Mr. Johnson, if you could sit down for me so you can stop walking around. You guys swear testimony you're about to give me is the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Brown, you can just say I do.
I do.
Okay, please be reminded that you guys are not permitted to record or photograph the proceedings. You can put your hands down. Once you're sworn in, you're okay. So I'm a little confused. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like there's been a major intercept of your something. I don't know if it's your taxes, Mr. Johnson. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of that, Ms. Brown? So it looks like there was his entire taxes were intercepted, $5,661. So that brings your past due amount to $84. Because they're holding that, they have to wait for it to clear. So that pretty much clears out your entire past due amount. So Dad, all you need to do is continuously pay going forward. But I thought we were trying to set up an income deduction order so you don't have to worry about, not making any payments. What happened? That's what I discussed with you.
I don't know because my last, I didn't show for the last court date, so we didn't talk.
Oh, okay. That's right. There was some type of technical difficulty. So your child support is $250 a month, which means $65 a week, if I'm doing that correct. Which, if I'm doing that correctly, that's what it should be, paying $65 a week, and that's all you need to pay, or $125 every 2 weeks. So you're currently working where you don't have to tell me where you're employed, but you are employed right now?
Self-employed, yes.
Okay. And what's his driver's license status, Ms. Carson?
It's okay.
Okay, you're good. Your driver's license is in place. So what I'm going to do, we need to just go ahead. You have to start. It looks like you're paying per week. It looks like you're paying like $50 and they're taking out some fees. Is that right?
130. Well, most recently she told me $65 a week, so I was just doing 130. I was just doing 130 instead.
Well, what's showing is March 11th, you paid something around $41.50. Then in March 18th, you paid $41.50. And then March 20th, you paid $13.65. So.
And then I just paid it 2 days ago, and it just popped up on the app too. I did 130, so I was gonna be doing 130 a week. But last time I overpaid, they sent me a check back in mail, and I'm just trying to see, is it a way that she can just keep that instead of me receiving the back payback?
Oh, I don't know about that, but your amount is $65 a week.
Yeah, on 411, you paid 128.59, so probably.
Okay. Okay, so that's for April. So
Just for the week.
Okay. You don't need, why are you paying $130 a week?
Because it's 65 plus 65 is 130, so I was just trying to get it out the way.
Okay. So if you want to do that, you only have to do that twice a month. You come in camera because I don't see you. I'm only seeing your head. All right. You could do it. You could pay weekly, which would be $65 a week, or you can pay, what is that? 130.
Yes.
You could pay 130 every 2 weeks, not 130 a week. Okay.
Yes. And is it a reason why I can't do that?
I mean, because the child support order is for $250.
Yeah, at this point, because of the interception of those funds, it would kick it back to him because it wouldn't go to arrears anymore.
Yeah, because they intercepted all of your past due. They intercepted your income tax. I don't understand. Just pay if you want to pay weekly, just pay 65 a week. I don't understand.
I was just trying to get as far ahead.
Yeah, but you can't. It doesn't work that way. You just have to make sure you have your monthly payments in. Okay. So it's 65 a week to pay, or 130 twice a month. I need to make a note. Which one do you think you're going to do? 130 twice a month or 65 a week?
I'm gonna do the 130 twice a month.
Okay. And what dates do you think generally you're going to try to do that on, like the 5th and the 20th, or?
Yes, that'd probably be more convenient.
Okay. Okay. So just pay twice a month. We'll pay bi-monthly. Never understood that bi-monthly. I guess that means twice a month. Pay bi-monthly at 130. And you've already started and you're doing it. So all you have to do is keep it up. But are you working, Mr. Johnson?
I'm self-employed. I have my own business.
Oh, okay. Do you mind me asking what you do?
Yes, I'm a mobile detailer.
Okay. All right. Well, everything seems good, Mom. The problem, Dad, continue to pay the 130 every 2 weeks, or twice a month, and you're good. I do have to do one final review to make sure that you're paying and that you're not falling back out of the graces of paying child support. And let's see, how old is your child? Mr. Johnson, how old is your child? Let's see.
5.
5. Okay. And are you
She's 6.
okay, close enough. Are you in your child's life, Mr. Johnson?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't like hearing that. Why aren't you in your child's life?
I guess it was because of this situation.
Okay. Well, is there do you want to be in your daughter's life?
Of course.
Okay. So, I always tell people today's a new day. It doesn't have to be the way it is. If you guys aren't getting along or you're not trying, my experience as a judge is most dads don't get involved with the child because they don't want to deal with the money. And I'm not saying that applies to you guys. Sure. Sometimes a mother withholds a child and says, you're not seeing my child, and it's not your child. And it's always difficult. And I always ask people to look at the baby girl, the child. She wants both of her parents in her life. You see all these videos on YouTube of how of how badly the child wants to see their parents, and both of them. And so I'm not sure what differences you guys have with each other, but you guys need to try to talk, work things out. I don't know who's upset, who's withholding the child. I don't know what's going on, but you can file a petition to legitimate your child. You don't have to hire an attorney. You follow with the court. You just have to pay the filing fees, which are pretty high. They're about $300, I heard, for all the fees to be filed. And a judge is going to give you visitation automatically because you have the right to be in your child's life unless you've abused her then you don't. Abused your daughter, then you don't have the right to be in her life. But if you haven't, the judge is going to give you 4 weeks during the summer, every other weekend, every other Christmas. You're going to have quality time with her, but all you have to do is file the petition to legitimate the child. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So have you tried to see her? Just
Well,
given
it actually got to the point where she came up to agreement that at the time that it wasn't a good idea. So
okay, well, I hope you guys can work through that. I'm going to mute you for a moment. So we're going to reset the case to June 28th, just to confirm if everything's done, the case will be dismissed, Mr. Johnson. Hold on one second. I just don't want to get into it. But Ms. Brown, are you open to trying to work out where the two of you can meet someplace, McDonald's or any, they have so many places these days. I don't, my kids are adults now, but where you guys can try to see if you could kind of reunite Mr. Johnson with his daughter?
Yeah, that's not a problem. And I also give my child the decision as to if she wants to go over there, if she don't. So
She's
it's
6.
not a problem.
She's 6. You would have to say, you know, you would have to encourage it. She at
But
6
if
years,
she's giving me a physical reason as to why she don't want to go, then
a physical reason. Oh, okay. Well, that means you're
not physical, but a reasoning as to why she does not. Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, I hope. Okay. Well, anyway. All right. At 6, as the mother, you could encourage the relationship. If she doesn't want it, then okay, that's for you to decide with her. So hope everything works out. You guys are excused from court. We'll see you on June 28th. Ms. Brown, you'll be receiving that $5,000. It's just, they have to hold it. Is he allowed to waive it, Ms. Jefferson? Waive the hold? Ms.
Maybe
Jefferson.
if he files singly, he might be able to. They have to wait a certain amount of days.
Okay. All right. So, Ms. Brown, you have that money coming. And put it away just in case, you know, try to save it, get yourself caught up, but try to save it for your daughter for, you know, any future expenses or if he stops paying child support. But I'll see you guys. Actually, I don't need to see you in June because, well, I'll just go ahead and follow up just to make sure that Mr. Johnson is paying your payments. And Mr. Johnson, we'll look at your case. If you're making your payments, I'll excuse you both from court. Ms. Starks, if you can make a note that we'll just look on at the calendar in June, and if if he's making his payments, the case will be dismissed. They don't have to come to court, but we'll let you guys know. Okay, you guys take care.
Okay, good.
Okay, bye-bye. Ms. Allen, please don't send me messages directly like that. It's not permissible in court. Okay, I do understand. I'm just trying to navigate through this. You know, I'm sorry you're going through this, but I'm going to have to, at some point, Mr. Marshall, I'm going to have to issue the warrant. But go ahead.
She said I can come in from Tuesday to 9 to 3.
Tuesday from 9 to 3.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I've given you multiple chances. This has been going on for years. I don't think I'm going to be able to give you another chance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Mom will sign the warrant, Mr. Marshall, and state court will handle the case. They'll make you take DNA. You'll be on probation until the child is 18. I can't do anything else. You've got to execute getting the case started, accept service, and set up the DNA. You need to get all that before we come back to court. If not, mom can go in when she's feeling better, sign the warrant, and I'm just going to sign it on April 12th because I can't. I know sometimes these things are difficult and they happen, but it's been going on for 3 to 4 years. So I got to hold your feet to the fire. So we'll reset the case to the 12th, and I'm going to put here 220. We'll have the DSS case with us. Dad will go to acknowledge service of the pending child support action on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, the 26th. Tuesday, March 26th.
Like 25th, right? 25th or 26th?
26th is a Tuesday.
Okay.
And we'll try to get paternity established before we return for once you acknowledge service, then it's taken out of my hands as a criminal matter. I'm just trying to get this case rolling. If not, I'm just going to go ahead and issue the warrant. Okay, you have to acknowledge service of this lawsuit, and then so you can, because they won't set up a case until you acknowledge service to get paternity. So I'm giving you about 2 weeks to get this done, and that's it. I'm saying if dad does not acknowledge service, because once you acknowledge service, then they can start everything else. Then warrant shall issue. And I'm sure you don't want to be on probation until your child's 18, so you need to get that done. Okay, that's it. Final chance. Mom, you could sign the warrant. I will sign it. Mom's already signed the warrant, so I'll sign it on the 12th if there hasn't been an acknowledgement of service at that time. Okay, Mom, you can come on. I'm sorry if I ticked you off. I understand this is frustrating, but I really don't even have jurisdiction over this case. I'm just trying to help you. This is a case of him avoiding service over the years, but I'm trying to do my best to get you on track. Okay, so I'll issue the warrant on the 12th, Mr. Marshall. If you haven't gone to acknowledge service, that's my last option to get you in there on Tuesday. Make sure you take care of that. After you acknowledge service, they should be able to set up the DNA test, get the DNA, and then it's out of our criminal court. It just goes to the regular court system. They'll try to get you to voluntarily make a temporary payment in child support. I'm telling you, that's what you want. If you can work out something with mom according to your income, and if not, a judge is going to hit you hard with a child support order. It's better for you guys to try to work it out yourself. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys on April 12th. I'm giving you the notice now, April 12th. I'm expecting you to acknowledge service of the case. Go in person on Tuesday, and while you're there, once you acknowledge service, go ahead and see if they could set up a DNA paternity testing prior to you coming back to court so they can get the results. It probably takes 4 weeks, so I may not. But as long as you've acknowledged service, that's all I'm looking for, because at that point, the Superior Court can go ahead and issue an order against you, whether you come to court or whether you take the DNA or not. So that's where we are, Miss Allen. Okay.
Okay, Your Honor, may I just say one last thing?
Sure.
In regards to the letter that I received yesterday, the representative also said that at this time your case does not have a court date, so we cannot do genetic testing on a non-custodial parent. Once the court date is obtained and the case has been in a civil action number, and then the appointment letter will be set out to the non-custodial parent for genetic testing. But like you stated, because that's what they're saying. They're saying that even if he goes in on this next Tuesday, he won't be, because they don't have anyone there to do the acknowledgement, not the acknowledgement of paternity, because they have no one there to issue him and the warrant of, not the warrant, to serve him. They have no one there to serve him. So even if he walks into the office and says, hey, I want to go ahead and put myself on, acknowledge, you guys been looking for me, they're not going to accept it. That's what this letter says.
Okay, well, that has been my experience in 19 years. So let's just let him go and acknowledge service. That makes no sense. So Mr. Marshall, you may have to go to the sheriff's office in Fulton County and just tell them you want to accept service of the lawsuit, and you could do it that way. If they're saying they can't do it there, give them a call and say, can I acknowledge service in your office? If not, then on Tuesday, you just go down to the sheriff's office and just say, you guys have been trying to serve me. I want to accept service, acknowledge service. And then you go back to child support and say, okay, I've acknowledged service now. What can we do to go ahead and let me get the DNA? Because if it turns out it's your child, you guys have to move forward. It may turn out it's not your child, and then all this is over. It needs to be handled. I mean, a little girl, I believe, she's out there in the wind, not knowing anything, no dad in her life, and mom's not receiving any support. And the judge can order you to pay all the back child support, just so you know, if you don't take control of this case and do it the right way. If you don't appear in the Superior Court case, there's all kinds of stuff they could do. So it's in your best interest. I keep trying to tell you, just take control of this case, but it looks like you're going to go in. So you understand what I'm saying? So the sheriff's department serves you, but you can go and accept service. So then say, okay, I got it. And then you go back to the court and say, okay, now I have, what's next? And then once he's served, Miss Allen, it kind of takes it out of my purview. Everything has to be handled by the Superior Court. It takes time. My gosh, you've been working a long time. This is just kind of unconscionable, Mr. Marshall, if you do know it's your daughter, which it probably is, and you're not helping her at all financially. It's just not going to be good for you and the judge. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys on April 12th. That's my last opportunity to try to get you served and go ahead and start the case in a civil court so it can be removed from my criminal court. All right. Feel better, Miss Allen. I hope you're okay. Looks like you had a lot going on there, but hope you feel better. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. See you then. Okay, Mr. Marshall, we'll see you on the 12th, April 12th. Miss Allen, that's what my goal was at this point. So with that being said, that was my goal in order not to issue a warrant. So he has provided proof that he went in. You guys have a court date in June, or he has a court date in June, or he's meeting with someone in June. But at that point, that's all I can do. And that was my goal, to avoid issuing the warrant. So he has accepted service. We provided proof. So everything will be handled by Department of Children's Services going forward. Okay. Do you have any questions? You can unmute if you do. Miss Allen, do you have any questions?
I apologize. I was trying to get off mute. So with the proceedings, you said that since we're at a halt on everything, what does that have to do with like writers of down from this time and from the back times? Because it's still
that has to be done in the Superior Court. This is a criminal court. I can't handle all that. So you have a court date scheduled. Mr. Marshall, when is that court date? Or you sent it to us? Okay, unmute for me. When is it?
12, I think 12, 13. Not really sure yet.
No, it was in the paperwork. Ms. Starks, the information that
Yeah, I have it. It's just not with me though. I have it, but it's not with me.
Ms. Starks, do you still have that email?
Your Honor, they're doing DNA testing, so I'm not sure if they would have sent up a court
Oh,
date yet.
okay, so what's the status, Ms. Carson?
It might be an appointment that someone has for. At this point, he's given his DNA sample. I think we're just waiting for mother and child.
No, he had received paperwork saying that there's something on June. Ms.
It's a
Starks,
court date, Judge. It's a court date, but I don't know what date, exactly date, 14th or the 15th, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing anything.
Okay, Ms. Starks.
I was told that the court date was June the 12th for Fulton
Yeah.
County, but
Yeah.
I was also told that that was just for him to accept service, that he didn't accept service, because when I called to DCSS, they stated that he hadn't accepted
Oh,
service.
he did. I saw the paperwork. Hold on one second. Let me get it. I was trying to release him. You can go, Mr. Marshall. Well, just give me 2 minutes real quick. Ms. Starks, can you hear me? Or are you having?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, it's on June 13th.
Could you
He has an
email?
appointment.
Could you either email that to me, and maybe I'm confusing it for a court date? Could you email that to me very quickly?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes.
So I was also told that because when I called in the DCSS this week, I was also told that he hadn't done the paternity test, that there was no testing done.
Okay, well, they set something up. Let me get the information to see. Mr. Marshall, what did you guys do about the DNA test?
Ma'am, I went to get DNA tested. I've been did it. I sent me paperwork and everything is already taken care of.
Okay, you took the DNA test. Okay, because
Yes, ma'am.
that's what the paperwork shows. Hold on.
Yes, Your Honor, he submitted his samples, but I don't see anything in here about a June date. It may just have been an appointment.
Okay, maybe it's an appointment, but I'll wait for it and then I'll send it to Mom. So, okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'll excuse you guys in just a moment because it's from Miss Allen. Everything is going to start with your with the child support. This is a criminal case, and I don't have a child support order for him, so I've done all I can do, which is to make him get served and go to court. So let's see here. I have let me forward this to. It says date of next hearing, but it's a Zoom meeting. Maybe that's just to establish, or I don't know, but it's there. All right, so there's a Zoom meeting. Maybe I misunderstood because the top of the page says next court date.
Yeah, could just be because I don't usually set it before they have the DNA results.
Yeah, I thought it was fast too.
Just waiting for her to go in. Let me see if they've set any appointment for her.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go on with the calendar. Miss Allen, you're going to have to call them. He did provide proof that he was served, and he also provided proof. I don't know who you're talking to. He did take the DNA, and the court hearing for him is June 13th at 9:30 a.m. You'll have to contact the DCCS agent. It says Miss Preer or something of that nature to find out your involvement in that hearing. But that concludes my ability to do anything further with your case. It's now completely, he's been served, so now everything will be done by a superior court judge, okay? All right, the two of you excuse Mr. Marshall and Miss Allen, and Mr. Marshall, just make sure you stick with everything with DCS. So
Yes, ma'am.
now it's in the superior judge's hands, so they'll handle
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you.
You're excused. Okay, Miss Allen,
Okay.
take care. I hope everything works out for you guys. All right, so I wish I had more resources, I tell you.
I understand. This is kind of crazy.
We should have more opportunity to get these dads employed. All right. Any luck? You can unmute for me, Mr. Rhodes. Did anybody answer?
Yeah, she said to come in Monday.
Okay, are you gonna do it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I understand you know you're doing what you can and your payments are splitting, but that's because you're not paying enough. You do something, have something hovering over your head. I get that, and that's why I'm trying to work with you. If she gives you, did you tell her that what's going on with your criminal history? Did you have a felony charge that's been pending for 7 years?
No, I didn't talk with her about that.
Okay, well, I need you to talk to her about that so she can say whether or not she can do what assist you in any way.
Okay, I'll call her.
I want you to tell her up front, but I know that agency hires convicted felons, so I'm not sure why she wouldn't consider you. You're not convicted. All right, so okay, Miss Lloyd, I know you're frustrated, but I am really trying to get him to get a job. He's got a car. We just need him to get a job so he can pay consistently. And I have to take all factors into consideration, including that pending case, because it's a red flag if they do criminal history on it. But I'm going to meet you, Mr. Rhodes. You're making some payments, but you know they're not sufficient. We just got to get those payments. If they're splitting, you got to pay about $500 a month to cover both moms, which is, I guess it would be about $170 a
I mean,
week.
I've already paid 700 this month.
When did you pay 700?
I paid 3 in the beginning. I just paid 2 weeks ago. I just paid 200. I just paid 200 this week.
Okay, well, I don't have child support with me. So the other child support order, that doesn't make any sense because it's showing mom received $90 on last week, but it doesn't show. It shows February you may have paid 300 and it's split between the two moms, and then March it just showed one payment, but you may have made another payment. Let me meet Miss Lloyd. Have you received any payments since March 14th?
You said March 14th. I think he made a payment. I think I received the payment of like $80-some. 1 second. Yeah, I believe it was like 86 or something, $87.
Okay, that's only payments. Mr. Rhodes, we're only showing one payment. You said you made another payment?
Let's see.
Okay. You're muted.
Yes. I think they sent me an email stating that it went through. Like, the payment is out.
Okay, so she has another payment coming in, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it already went through. I don't know.
All
But I
right.
just paid like, I want to say Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, on 3/20, he paid $87.99.
Okay, so you made another payment. Okay. I know that's not enough, but bear with me. I mean, I promise you, I'm just hoping we're turning the corner on consistent payments. Let me put this in. The problem is, of course, so let me just put, Dad has an appointment. This isn't your case. Hold on, let me go to the other case. You put your case in. Yeah, 0. Do you guys co-parent the kids? I don't want to get into that too heavy, but
No.
Mr. Rhodes, you're not
See,
your children. You're not
on the
your children.
on the 19th, I just paid 206.
Okay.
March 19th.
All right. And just very short, I don't want to get into your call, but why aren't you visiting your children and being a part of your children's lives?
You have to ask the mom that.
Okay, well, I told you before, you could file a petition for legitimation of your children without mom. The courts are going to give you visitation with your children. So you need to take it. You don't have, I know you don't have the money right now, but when you do, you can file a petition to legitimate your children, and the courts are going to give you visitation with your children. So you file it in DeKalb County, but that you don't have the money. You can file a pauper's affidavit since you're going through all this. But if you get a job, you don't have to return to file a petition for legitimation. You can just go through the court system and get visitation, unless you're abusive to the children. Has nothing to do with you and mom. It's if you've been abusive to the children, or that case that you have pending was involving children, then yeah, the court's not going to give you visitation. But otherwise, you will get visitation with your children. It's what the law makes the presumption. So you can go through that process, and then the court will give you children. So give you your children for visitation. Let's see. Dad has an appointment with the employment agency. That's crazy. That case has been pending for so long. I mean, you can't move forward. You can't move backwards. I mean, all right. So we're going to reset the case to the 12th of April. That's my very next calendar. Actually, I want to see if you can get a job. So I'm going to set it the following, which will be the 26th. Hopefully you'll have employment by then. If there's any way that you can, keep up the payments, but you need to try to pay a little bit more.
The 26th of this month?
Yeah, 26th of April.
Oh, April.
And I'm hoping by then you'll know if you had the employment and you should have started, and you could pay more directly out of your paycheck and still work part-time with your family to be able to get caught up. And I need you to call. You're not that far behind. It says you're only $1,600 past due. So I don't know if you have taxes, but they'll be intercepted as well. All right. So the case is reset so we can see if we can get you employment. That's my first goal. After that, Mom, you can go ahead and file a contempt with the courts to see with his criminal history pending if he's willfully unable to pay, or if it's just what he's caught up in. So you can file a contempt as a backup to my case by just calling child support and telling you, well, he doesn't owe a lot of back child support, so they're probably not going to grant a contempt on him, because it looks like it's saying here that he $1,500, which is still a few months past due, but it's not like a lot of these cases are $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. So Mr. Rhodes, you may want to call child support and see if your license is suspended.
It say active.
It's active?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll see you guys. Miss Lloyd, is there anything that you need to add? I'm resetting the case again. I usually give myself 6 months with cases once they come before me. So this is to try to get a diversion before I issue a warrant, because it's not going to do any good with what he's got going on. Do you have any questions, Ms. Lloyd?
I mean, I don't know, Judge Jason. I mean, you know, I understand that you've been, you know, you have a heart for him and everything, but he haven't been convicted. So it's like,
hold on, I don't have a heart for him. I'm a judge that looks at the big picture. I don't know him personally. I give myself 6 months. You filed the case the first time we came to court. Was I have in January. So I give myself 6 months to try this before I could issue a criminal warrant, because they're on child support. So it's just my procedure, because this is like a diversion court. So many young men are already in and out of this criminal system, and that's not my first goal. But if that's my goal that I have to do after trying and giving him every option, then I issue the warrant. He goes to jail. You're still not going to get the child support, but at least you're not going to get it, because he's going to have to go to jail, and then they're going to suspend his license and everything. So there's a bigger picture involved. And I look at the big picture. You know, issuing warrants is not the answer for me unless I have no choice. So I understand that, you know, this isn't the way you'd like it to be done, but I'm still going to do my best that I can to try to get him on track so you can get your child. I understand.
right. I understand that. So I'm not saying anything. So I understand all of that. But, you know, 150, I was cool like with that. But, you know, 150, that don't even cover for the baby daycare. So it's like, it's not even $80 not doing anything for 2 kids.
Well, let me ask you a question, Miss Lloyd. How old are your kids now?
So one will be 5 next week, well, in a week and a half, and then one just turned 5 months yesterday.
5 months? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me ask you a question now. You had a 5-year-old with him. Yeah, okay.
I already know.
He was probably doing the same thing he is now, and you guys chose to have another baby. So you got to give me grace, because you knew he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So
he was working then. He was working, but he's going to try to keep using that, my background and everything. If he just thought that, you know, if the job stopped him so much from having a job, then he should just be in, you know, or he's not even registered as an SO. So I don't see what's stopping him from being in, you know, getting a job.
So in your opinion,
he hasn't been convicted.
So in your opinion, you think he just wants not to work?
Yes, ma'am. He don't want to work. I know this for a fact. He was working at Target. Target is a huge company. He was working at Target and quit Target. This was when I was pregnant with the baby then, well, my first one. So yes, ma'am, I do know this. He would rather, you know, sit around. He have other kids, and he'll sit and watch his other children and stuff. But it's like, okay, we not co-parenting and everything, not putting our business and everything out there. That's fine with me and everything. But at least help me with something. Like, I shouldn't have to take my baby with me to work. Or the mother shouldn't be out here having to work 3, 4, 6 jobs and all that to take care of kids and ourselves and home. So that's not fair.
Okay. I agree with you 100%. Not a problem at all. I do agree with you. If you knew him and he had a good, you're saying he quit.
Target is a huge company. Yes, ma'am. That's a huge company. If your background is so much keeping you, then he should just be in jail. That would be, you know, he's not even convicted, nor is he registered for anything. So like the job, that's not keeping him from getting a job. It's not.
Well, I will tell you, if they do a background check, the arrest will show up. But it's so, I mean, I get what you're saying, but okay, well, you know, I understand all that. Just hang in there with me. You know, if he had a good job before, and you guys have 2 babies together, which they're beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
You know, and then he has other children. I mean, come on, Mr. Rhodes, please don't have any more babies. But I guess this herd's youngest is yours. So at some point, y'all were getting along. So I wish you could.
We were. Anyway, but yeah, things happen.
I know. Okay. Let me hear from him, and then we'll go ahead and reset the case. Just try to get everything on track. Okay, so she knows you better than me. I'm sorry, stay muted, Miss Lloyd. Don't unmute. She knows you better than me. Hold on. She knows you better than me. She knows you can work. She knows you had a good job. It's been 7 years that you've had that case hanging on your head. I do believe there's somewhere you can get a job, but I also believe moms believe, well, you just don't want to work because you don't want to give me any money. I would find it hard. I have a 30-year-old son. I find it hard to believe that any man doesn't want to go out there and earn an income and work hard. There are some that don't. I agree with you, Miss Lloyd, but your child support isn't that much. So I don't understand. I mean, I think it's also hard to get a job these days. I've experienced it with my son and relatives, you know, but you have to keep going. And like even Amazon, you have to go through their companies. Like you can't just get a job on Amazon. It has to go through one of the, I guess, what do they call them? Transportation companies. And I always ask guys when they come on, like, how'd you get a job making all that good money with Amazon? And they're like, oh, I looked at it and I got it from somewhere. And anyway, it's out there, but you just have to keep hustling to find it. So go ahead, Mr. Rhodes. What would you like to say?
With the Target job and all of that, like I didn't quit my job. I was let go because this manager that was over me, this girl liked me and she didn't like him. So he filed some complaint against me and got me fired. It's not that I don't want to work. I've put in 200 applications and only got 2 interviews, and they have all said the same thing. You know, if it's something on your background, it's not us, it's our insurance people. The insurance people look at the background, and if they see something that they don't want in their establishment, then they're not gonna allow us to hire you.
Yeah, and you won't be able to do Uber or anything like that. They're not going to give you a job because he would be considered high risk. Okay, well, one of the things I asked for the two of you, now that I know you have a 5-year-old and a 5-month-old, is to find a way, Mr. Rhodes, even if you can't give her the money that she needs to provide for your two babies, to find a way to see if you guys can push through whatever's pulling you apart so that you can be there to help take care of the children. I mean, you have a car, you're not working full time, she's working, you have a 5-month-old. Just figure out, okay, we're both adults. Yeah, we're not in a good place. However, it takes the mindset of, okay, I'm going to let go of our past. There's nothing we can do about it. We have 2 children we have to raise for the next 18 years, 20, well, the rest of your life, honestly. And the number one goal as a judge would be for me to encourage you guys to just try to see if you get a little step closer to co-parenting. Mr. Rhodes, if you step up and you take care and you're there to help with your kids, and mom, if you open a little crack, let him go visit at your mom's house or your sister's house, let him see the babies. Especially the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old knows this is his dad, and I know he or she. I'm not sure. I don't have the case in front of me. They're like, well, where's daddy? Where's daddy? And that's where children start to having issues and concerns, especially little boys. So I don't want to legislate this for the two of you, but I'm going to encourage you both to take a step toward peace for the sake of the children. If you can just find a weekend to take them both to the movies, to go to McDonald's, you don't have to be in love with each other again, but you can be respectful of the choice that you both made to have 2 children together. All right, that's it. I'm not gonna get into that. No, Mr. Rhodes, you guys worked it out. You guys worked it out. You guys were very in a relationship for the past few years, and you guys need to figure out how you can push to the next level. You know what you did if you did anything, and you just have to make peace and see if you guys can move on. All right, how many kids do you have, by the way, Mr. Rhodes? You can unmute on that one because she said you have other kids.
I have 7.
Now, how old are your 7 kids? See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, mom, moms know these guys have all these babies, and it's just, it's so frustrating. What do I do to legislate a criminal case over some guy that already have 5 kids, and then you have 2, and I have to figure out how to legislate it, whether it's a crime or not. And when we know what we're dealing with and we choose to, then sometimes it's just a bigger picture that I have to understand. All right, so we'll see you guys. Hope you get the job, Mr. Rhodes. I'll see you guys when you come back. Okay, you guys are both have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye. Let me put Rhodes, if you can come on for me, please. All right. Are you at the barbershop right now? Mr. Rhodes? Let's see. So let's go back over this case. Okay.
I have an interview you got to get to.
Oh, you have an interview?
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't you have like dreads? You cut all your hair off? Oh, you still have your dreads. Okay. I was like, you just cut all your dreads off. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Oh, dad has an interview. Oh my goodness. We've been working on this case since November of last year. Okay. Tell me about the interview, please.
I got to get there first.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it something that looks promising, or, I mean, I know you can't tell, but
I don't know. All I can do is leave it up to God. It just popped up yesterday. I went and looked at my email. It was there. I accepted it, and then they gave me 12 for today.
12 for today. Okay, so let's get you over there. And you got your hair straight. You got your attire, your clothing, your outfit straight. All right, good. All right. So let's see here. In your case, very quickly, so you go. Well, I know he doesn't want to be in the video, but I was like, he can finish your hair. But anyway, you're under an order to pay $217 per month. It looks like you paid $132 in February. You paid 2 payments in March, about 90 probably, which is kind of 180. And then you just haven't paid April because I would have been able. Well, you're still not quite.
I paid $400 last week.
You paid $400 last week. Okay, so that's your April payment. Okay, all right. I don't think we have that. Do you see that payment? Yes, Miss Serena Camarillo?
I can look right now.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to let you go ahead and prepare for your job. I want to check that $400 payment.
We don't have it on it.
Didn't come through. Mr. Rhodes, do you have a number or something to show that you did pay that? Because if so, it's very helpful for me not to have to. It's still just one payment missed. Because it should have posted by now. All right, listen, if you've got a job interview at 12, I don't want to compromise. It's already 10:53. I need you.
Okay. If you can see that.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
Okay, let's
411.
see. Wow, Miss Camarillo, do you see that? Hold it up just for a moment.
I'm looking right now.
Where's the date? Oh, it says,
April 20th. So we wouldn't have that quite yet.
okay. All right. So you made your payment for April. You're good. Go ahead and good luck. I hope you get the job. I've got to reset the case though, because we're not there yet with consistent payments. Hopefully you can get a job and we can get out of your paycheck. That's always the end goal. So good luck on your interview. I hope you kill it. Hope you get the job, and you've made the payment for April. So Mom, I'm good for this month. Make sure you make your payment in May, because we're not coming back to court until June. If you could just break it into, like you're doing into 2 payments of 200 each, or just keep doing the best you can. And then you paid for April, so you need to make May payment and June payment, and then you have your job, and then we'll start an income deduction order. We'll see you then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Right, Miss Lloyd, hope you feel better. He made a payment. You'll be getting it soon. He confirmed it. So I'm just going to reset the case to June 28th to make sure the May payment was made, June payment was made, and then we'll check the status with the employment at that time, okay? All right, guys. Thank you. All right, good luck again, Rhodes. Hope you get the job. You guys are excused from court.
All right, thank you.
All right, and Miss Lloyd, I hope you feel better. All right, so good morning to both of you. We have here Mr. Frey, you're under a child support order to pay $441 per month with a repay of $30 toward your past due amount of $5,686.50. I don't see the application on this one, Miss Starks, but anyway, Dad, you did make a payment probably after you received the notice of $112.50, but the order is for $104, and I believe you guys have one child that's about 3, maybe 4. Of course, Mr. Webb, you're the only case I don't think that I've had a hearing for before. So the law states if you don't provide your child support within 30 days, then Mom could file an abandonment warrant application. This is a criminal proceeding, which means if I find that you're not willingly not paying and you're not making effort to pay, eventually I can issue a warrant for your arrest. I don't issue warrants initially. I try to get dads on track to pay child support so there's a lot of repercussions with the amount you pass due. Your license may be suspended. A lot can happen over just not paying child support. So what we're going to do is try to figure out what's going on with you. So I'm going to hear from you first. If you could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear any testimony you're about to present to the court will be the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mom lives in DeKalb County with a minor child. You haven't been paying child support. I only show one payment in the past 3 months of $112.50. So are you currently employed?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and why? Well, you have a car. How are you supporting yourself?
I do have a car, but I was a driver, but my license got suspended. Well, I realized my license was suspended last.
Okay, so in order to reinstate your license, there's one of 2 things. You have to join the fatherhood program or pay a percentage to reinstate your license, or you get a new job, any kind of job, like, Walmart, wherever you can get a job so they can take the money directly out of your paycheck. So why haven't you been paying child support if you were driving and working over the past few months?
I really don't have an explanation. I mean, not over the past few months. The only thing I can say is I'm not able to. I still have to pay rent and stuff, and I probably only have like $100 to spare over at any given time. I don't have an excuse for a while. I haven't done it, but I do know that I've talked to Jordan, and we've had a conversation about being more present, and so we're working towards that.
Okay, well, that's good to hear, because okay. So we have 2 addresses on you, and I just want to confirm which is the address where you reside. Is it the Ragsdale or the Bridgewater?
It's Bridgewater, but I need to change it.
Oh, what do you need to change it?
I need to change my address or something.
Okay. We're going to have you either call our clerk's office and get the address, but we do have we do have an email address as well. So 441, last time is 40. So your new case with me, and again, I'm going to tell you how it goes. So you have to get on track. You have to find a real job that takes money directly out of your paycheck. And it looks like you live in DeKalb County. I just gave a young man a telephone number to an agency that's looking for employees. The first thing you have to do is I'm going to give you that number to call this agency. He has an appointment with the agency on Monday. If you can get there and get a job, then that opens the door for me to be able to give you grace to get employment, get your license reinstated. You're driving and your license is suspended. You know they have tag readers that scan your tag, and then they'll impound your car and take you into custody. That's all the repercussion from driving.
Yes, ma'am. I don't drive though. So that's,
I'm sorry.
income took a big hit because I don't drive. Found out that my license was suspended driving.
I know,
So
but
I don't drive. I'm
you're
in the
driving.
car right now, yes.
Oh, you're just sitting in the car. Okay.
I'm just sitting, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm still at home.
So let me tell you, all this can turn around in 2 weeks. It can have if you call the agency that I'm about to give you, she's meeting with one guy on Monday. If you can get in there, she will hire you. How many children are you providing providing child support for?
Just baby, that's it.
Okay, well, that's awesome. And be aware of that. You know, a lot of my dads have new relationships and then they have new babies, and I'm not judging anybody, but it doesn't help if you can't sustain or support one child. Why go bring more into the world? Just wait until you're on your feet and doing well. But so I'm going to have you call that agency. Ms. Starks, if you can write this number down, so maybe you'll have it. I'm going to send it to everybody, but
Okay.
I'm going to have you call. I don't know the name of the agency. I just know that someone told me that agency is always looking for good people that want to work, not for people that just trying to get by and don't want to do anything and work on their own. So I'm going to put, let's see, chat. All right, so I'm going to put the number in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a very brief recess. I'm going to have you call right now, ask her if you can make an appointment to come by next week that you were referred from the child support court. And let's see what that conversation is. Everybody can go off camera for a brief moment. When Dad comes back on, then we'll go ahead and continue the proceeding. Go ahead and give that agency a call right now, Mr. Webb. See if you can make an appointment for next week.
Okay, thank you.
Mom, you can go off camera just for Mr. Webb. Have you called?
Yes, ma'am. I called. I was sending the email. They
Okay.
asked me to send them the email, so I just finished that.
Okay, good. All right. Did you make the other person that called about 30 minutes ago? She made an appointment with him.
Okay, cool. Oh, he didn't give me an appointment. He said he was going, once I sent him the email, he gonna find me a job. He gonna say he's gonna call back later when he finds something.
Okay. So if you get a job, Ms. Frazier, you can come back on. If you get employment, then they're going to reinstate your driver's license and take the money directly out of your paycheck. So my goal is to get you full-time employment. I mean, a lot of people have little side hustles. As a judge, I know that people have side hustles to bring in money, but I have to get an income deduction order that helps you get your license reinstated, or you have to pay 10% of the past due amount, which is $5,600, and you get your license back by paying $1,000, I think, but you need to take the initiative called child support so you can get your license back. I mean, even if I see, ma'am, hold on one second. Even if you don't have the money, if you have family members that can help you with, maybe putting it on a credit card and you pay them back when you get on your feet, something that just a lot of dads don't know, that you can pay child support by credit card. So it's a way to get this behind you and move forward and try to, get a job, pay your child support, and do what you're supposed to do. But yes, you can unmute Ms. Frazier or Mr. Webb. I'm going to mute you. Go ahead, please, ma'am.
You made a comment about side jobs. From my understanding, that's what he's been doing the last 4 years, is a side job. So it's not, you guys aren't able to track the income or anything like that because it is a side job. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where a lot of my frustration comes, because I know he's making some form of income, because surviving off of $100 is not realistic. So for me, that's where it becomes a little frustrating. And even if you can't provide financially, I've asked, hey, just pick up the phone and call her. In the last 4 years, he's only physically seen her 3 times. So at this point, I'm frustrated. I can't take it any longer. I have been more than lenient. I've tried to work and reason, and I'm still getting nowhere. So at this point, with the information that you have provided with him, possibly getting some stability, what is the potential time frame for this? Because he can say, hey, I can email, and then he can decide when the day comes, I'm not going to show up. So
okay, so let me good question. I'm a judge and I've been doing this for 20 years now. Okay. So I understand everything background. I'm not, ignorant to what dads do. He's got money, he's got side hustles. I get that. But what I try to do is get it out of that transition. And if it's not done, I usually try to give dad about 3 months on average. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, then I issue a criminal warrant. So Mr. Webb, it's your choice. So, everybody has money. Everybody has money coming in some way, and you're just choosing not to pay it. But you're with me for the first time. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt to move forward, but I can't sit there. It definitely is more egregious to me if you're not even in your child's life and you're not supporting. So that's something that definitely offends me as a judge. I'm concerned about the child support, of course. No disrespect, Ms. Frazier, but most moms have their stuff together. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. They're doing what they have to do to provide for their child. And the fact that the dad doesn't even participate in the child's life or step up in the child's life is a big factor that I take in consideration. If I choose to issue a warrant, if I show you're not making the efforts, I'm not trying to degrade you. I'm just saying it's time to step up and move forward. If not, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. And guess how long you'll be on probation? You'll be on probation with the state court until the child turns 18. So that's where it transitions from you deciding, letting a judge decide, or you decide. Okay, I'm not going to go back and forth with you guys. You know what you've been doing. If mom is saying, please come see our daughter, I will say, oftentimes moms don't let the father see the child, which isn't right either, because the child has nothing to do with this. It's about money, not about love and affection for a child. So I'm going to encourage you to step up and be in your child's life. If you choose not to do it, then when it comes down to the bottom line and it's not caught up and you're not on track, then I'll just go ahead and issue the warrant and then you'll have to deal with it. But I do take into consideration just whether or not you're making a decision to be not only not to pay child support, but not even to see the poor child. I mean, that's just for me as a judge, it pushes me to the next level because it's just wrong on all points. So let's forget the past. Let's move forward. Let's go ahead and check in and try to start seeing your daughter a little bit at a time. Start being in her life a little bit at a time. You could follow legitimation action. If you and mom weren't getting along, I mean, I don't know how somebody can honestly sleep at night knowing that they have a child that they're not in their life. But anyway, sometimes moms withhold a child. I'm not saying you are, but a lot of times moms are upset or mad and holding grudges, and they don't let the father see the child because of those. Not everybody, but it's very common in this court because every one of these cases, 95%, the moms and dads are at odds with each other. They don't like each other. They don't want to talk to each other. But I wish I had a magic wand to make dads step up and be daddies. And I wish I had a magic wand to make dads step up and pay child support, to moms to open their hearts and understand that the child needs both. I'm not saying that applies to you, but I don't. But I do work hard to try to encourage the parties to move forward and not backwards. Okay. So Mr. Webb, we'll see. We're going to reset the case. I'm going to, you have to pay child support. If you get your license reinstated, you have no excuse. And guess how long it takes to get your license reinstated? A day. Either by paying or getting a job, and the money comes directly out of your paycheck. So it's one of two ways to get that done. But yes, it's unacceptable that you haven't paid child support and you're almost 5,600 past due. But we're going to move forward, and I'm not going to issue a warrant today. Let me put my notes in here so we're all clear when we return to court what's going on. All right, let me just put sent dad to express employment. Has not been in the minor child's life. All right, so with your case, you have an order of $441 per month. There's moving companies that are hiring right away. There are companies, and you have to get a real job, not working under the table somewhere and just putting that money in your pocket. Doesn't work, okay? So you're supposed to be paying $110 for a week for child support to start payments of $110 per week. And if you start making those payments, you'll be good to go with me. And we're going to work on the employment agency. I'm encouraging you to see if you can reach out. Don't open the door to your daughter if you're not going to be in her life. But if you can start being in her life, then why not start that? Why not start it when she's 5? She's going to be in kindergarten. She's going to have, Parents' Day. She's going to want her mommy and her daddy to be there. Come on now. This is life of children. So again, I'm going to encourage you to call the Express Employment for a job. I did put the mom says you have a side hustle. I did put you haven't, according to mom, been in the child's life. I'm encouraging dad to step up with seeing his child and start payments of $110 a week. That's my guide to you, Mr. Webb, and you got to get on track with that. And we're going to reset the case to April to give you time to see, so I can see if you're starting every week to make payments of about $100, $110 a week in whatever way, honestly, trying to find a job. But I'm just going to do a review on April 26th to see how things are going. It's just a review. If you look like you're stepping up and you're doing better, I'll keep the case going as long as I see effort on your part. Okay. And that's my understanding. Mr. Webb, do you have any questions about how I'm trying to move forward with your case so I don't have to issue a criminal warrant?
No, ma'am, I understand. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that we see some payments, improvement, reach out to mom, see if you guys can talk about seeing your baby, and hopefully things can get better. This is just the beginning. It can get better. It happens. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and your excuse from court. We'll see you on April 26th. You'll receive the court note. All right, Mr. Webb, we were in court, and you're under an order to pay child support of $441 plus a $30 repay. My notes from our last hearing, this is a relatively new case from February. The hearing date, I see dad, I encourage you to pay $110 per week. We sent you to Express Employment. You do have a side hustle. You haven't been in your child's life. I encourage you to kind of step up seeing your child and start making your payments. And since we came to court, nothing. All right, so let me hear from you, Mr. Webb. Not good. I don't show any payments, no effort, nothing. So what's going on?
I made payments already. I think I did 200.
When was that payment made? Ms. Frazier, hold on. I'll hear from you after I finish. Give me a moment, please. Let me talk to him because he's the one that's going to jail. So I need to see what's happening. So just please don't unmute yourself. I'll be with you in a moment. Okay. Okay. Just stay muted. I'll come and speak with you. Let me just get the foundation set. All right. So you said you paid 200 when, Mr. Webb?
I paid 100 like the week, the same week of, or the same weekend of the court, and then like the next week I paid another 100.
Okay, we're not showing any of those payments. Do you have other child support? I can't hear you. Can you pick up your phone, please? Because you're too far from your speaker. You're breaking. I can't hear you. Say it again.
I made them directly to her.
Okay. But you can't do that. You have to pay it to child support unless it was some emergency or something because you don't get credit for it if it goes directly to her. But
Yes,
what's up?
There was a situation with her old bank being on there.
Okay. So what's up with your employment? What's up with your employment status?
I'm still applying for jobs. I had one interview with people ready, so I'm just waiting on a job to come through from there. I already went through the whole process.
Okay. So when I have cases, and I mean, I see that you're not employed, but you haven't really made payments in a while. And so I don't know if you guys had an agreement or what's going on, but it's in the court system now. And like I told you before, this whole criminal proceeding is about whether or not you're paying. And you're saying you made 2 payments to her. That still doesn't comply with getting as close as you can to making consistent payments of 100 per week. I understand when you don't have a job, but I put here that you do have side employment and side hustles, but you're not complying with paying $100 a week. So I'm not sure how to move forward on your case. There has to be some substantial change. It's a brand new case. I usually keep cases open for 6 months before I issue a criminal warrant. And it's not working very well for you right now. I'll just be honest with you. Paying $200 in the past 2 months is not sufficient for child support. So I understand that you're not working, but I think we put you in the fatherhood program before. Have you been in the fatherhood program? Well, you're looking for a job, so I don't even need to put you in the fatherhood program. Let me check the status of your license. Ms. Arena Camarillo, do we have a status of his license?
I will look into that right now. It looks like, yes, his license is suspended.
All right.
He needs to get it. He would have to provide proof of new employer or 3 times the SOA amount, which is going to be a total of $1,413. That's going to be.
All right. So your options to be able to reinstate your license, as Miss Attorney Arena Camarillo was stating, as she was stating, you either have to pay 3 times the amount. Your license suspended. Not sure if you're aware, but all those flock cameras and everything scans your license every time you go by. So you're at risk for getting stopped and your car impounded because you don't have a driver's license. Just so you know, right now, that's your exact status that you're in. So in order to reinstate your license, you have to get a job wherever it is and have the money coming directly out of your paycheck. So in return, you could get your license reinstated. But right now, that means Walmart, Burger King, wherever you can get your foot in the door to get a job. You know, without having pride be an issue until you can get what you want, you have to get some employment unless you can pay 3 times the amount, but your license is currently suspended. So I'm going to mute you for a moment and hear from Ms. Frazier. Okay. I'm sure Ms. Frazier, you were trying to tell me you paid you directly, but that's still not substantial. Go ahead.
So when I called the child support office, they told me that I had to bring in a voided check. So he didn't pay $200. He's only paid $100 and he paid it April the 6th. So they told me that I had to bring in a voided check and that he could pay it directly to me for that particular time because I hadn't updated my bank information. So going forward, it will go directly to child support. They said that he either has to call in or he can go to the kiosk or pay it online.
Right, right. So Mr. Webb, I'm not sure what to do. I don't see any progress. You're saying you have an interview. No payment has been made since 2023. I mean, I could just go ahead and issue the warrant and you could just take it up with state court. You'll have a warrant out for your arrest and you can handle it that way because I don't see any movement. I don't see any improvement. I don't see that you've done anything except a $100 payment. And that's not acceptable. So you want me to just issue the warrant and you handle it in state court, or do you think you're going to turn things around in the next month? I mean, it's totally up to you.
No, I can. I already have. We haven't even been in contact, but you know.
Yeah, I can't hear you because of your location. You don't have a good internet connection, or I don't know if it's your Bluetooth. If you could take off your Bluetooth and maybe use the phone itself because you're breaking up and I can't hear you. So, Ms. Frazier, when he worked, I
Yes,
guess
ma'am.
when you guys were in a relationship, it's like he was making decent money. What type of employment was he in?
Well, he was doing self-employment. He was doing Uber. And then at one point he did have 2 jobs, but then he went back to working on his own. He doesn't like to have to clock into a 9 to 5. He would rather work for himself, but that's not working. And that was the whole thing that I was asking the last time we were here, like, what are we doing? Because we've given chances and it's not working.
Well, I mean, you just filed it in February. Did you file it before? Is this a second filing?
No, I've been waiting for child support for 2 years.
Yeah, but this is the first time you filed a criminal warrant for his arrest.
Yeah. Well, this part, yes, ma'am. So I've been waiting for him to kind of do his due diligence on his own, and I have gotten nowhere. And that's what I was trying to address last time. I do understand you trying to give him an opportunity, but yet again, we're here, and he's made 1 payment, and he has called my daughter, but he hasn't talked to her in about 2 weeks. So that's what I was trying to get him to understand. I do understand, you want to see her, but I need some type of consistency with you, especially with phone calls at least, before I just say, hey, you can start meeting her and going out and taking her places, because it's never consistent.
All right, so hold on a second. So Mr. Webb, I sent you to, I'm going to meet you, Ms. Frazier. I sent you to Express Employment, and I know for a fact that they have job offers. So what happened with that?
They sent me a job I wasn't going to be able to get to. The job was in Lilburn. I'm in
You went in North Carolina?
North Atlanta.
Oh, why can't you get there? Oh, you don't have a license.
Lilburn, I don't have a license, but it's not far.
So what are you doing now to work just to support yourself?
To support myself, I just do like moving jobs. I mount TVs.
But you know what the thing is, Mr. Webb, it's like at some point you have to get a real job, a 9 to 5, not sit and do little side hustles. And so, I mean, I don't know how long you've been doing this and how old you are. And I'm not a judge that likes to, be critical of people, but at some point you just got to get a job, like a real job, like work 9 to 5, and then they'll be able to take the money out. You get your license reinstated, everything moves up, but all these little side hustle jobs, it's not taking care of it. So I either have to issue a warrant for your arrest or you go get a job before we come back to court. You have to have a job.
I can just go get a job before court. Like, going to jail not gonna help me, and it's not like I'm not trying to be in my child's life.
Okay, but that's not the issue. It is. She said you called her once, and that's fine, but that's not what this issue is about. The issue is
multiple times.
Okay, so the issue is, I think that you like working for yourself, which I get it, but it's not working for child support.
You expressed to me that I needed a job, so I went through the necessary steps. You told me to call the person that you gave me the number for. I called him. He came back probably like 2 hours later with a job. It was in Lilburn. I told him to help me find something that's closer to where I'm at. And I did. Outside of that, I went to People Ready, and I went through that whole little process. So now I'm just waiting on a job. Like, that's it.
So did I ever send you to the okay, so one of the things, Ms. Frazier, is I've got to get his license reinstated so he can get a job. So let me see. We can work on that. Just bear with me one more time. Have I ever sent you to the fatherhood program, Mr. Webb? I think
no, ma'am. I just heard you asked me if I heard of it, and I said yes, ma'am. But
okay, but let me tell you what happens with the fatherhood program. If you go to the fatherhood program, then we have an agreement. As long as you comply with the fatherhood program and you pay some amount consistently towards child support, then they'll reinstate your driver's license. Once your license is reinstated, then you can drive to Lilburn or anywhere else that they need you to work, but you got to get your license reinstated. So I'm not going to do the warrant today. I'm going to give you another chance. But if you don't follow through with the fatherhood program and you don't step up, then I'm just going to issue the warrant because there's nothing else I can do. One of the main issues I have with a lot of dads is they want to, kind of do their own thing when they want, support their lifestyle, but I'm ordering you to get a job, a real 9 to 5, and the fatherhood program will help you with that. Miss Arena Camarillo, what can we do to get it? Because Miss Frazier, to be quite honest with you, let me just tell you. So if I issue a warrant for his arrest, he's got to turn himself in. Then he'll be released, and then he's on child support till the child turns 18, till your daughter turns 18. But a lot of times, it could take a year or 2 years to get to state court. So just bear with me. Trust me, I've been doing this for 20 years now. Let me give him one more opportunity to get into the fatherhood program. I should have done that last time. Get him on track. And Mr. Webb, I'm not sure, but I need you to at least try to pay 2 payments. I'm not reducing your child support, but we need to see some consistency going. That's not happening at all. You made 1 payment of $100 to her. That this day and age doesn't do much of anything. I see, the mothers do everything, and And I'm just, you know, I don't want
It
to have
doesn't
to
have to
take.
be that way. Like, I want to be in my daughter's life. It doesn't have to be that she's the one doing everything. I've never not wanted to be in my daughter's life. Like,
Okay, but that's not the issue today. The issue today is you provide the child support, things calm down between you and mom, and then you show consistency in being in her life. Calling a child, you know, she's saying she wouldn't mind introducing, but it's a two-way street. She's like, I'll open the door. I just need you to be a consistent father financially and emotionally. And if you're willing to do that, then great. Then hopefully 2 months from now, this will all be done. You're talking to your daughter, you're seeing her, you're paying your child support. That's the big goal for me. It's just trying to
I was
bring family.
communicating with her every day about Bailey. And then one day my messages was just green. Like, I don't know if I need to email it to y'all or something. Like, I'm not.
No, this isn't a family court. This is
So when
not
you
what
talking
this.
about consistency, I'm being consistent. I want to be in her life. I want to be able to help her take care of my daughter.
Okay, so let's get on the financial direction of so your license is suspended. We'll have you join the fatherhood program. Ms. Serena Camarillo, can we send him a registration for the fatherhood program? And if you don't go to the program, I automatically decide to issue a warrant if you're not paying child support, because the fatherhood program is a grace to allow you to, you know, hopefully get stepped up and help you find a job. So we got to get your license reinstated first. Now, let's just say you go to, where do you live, in DeKalb or Fulton?
I live in Fulton County.
Okay, let's just say you find a job somewhere close to you. If you get a job, no matter where it is, meaning fast food places, Quick Trip, any of those kind of places are hiring all the time. And so if you could get just a job that will allow them to take the child support out of your paycheck just temporarily, then at that point they'll reinstate your license automatically. But you got to get the job. If you would have taken that job in Norcross, then you could have told them I have a job and they could have reinstated your license. You get what I'm saying? That's one of the easiest way to get your license reinstated, is to say I have a job and you could take the money directly out of my paycheck. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's your goal. Let me just put this in here. I'm sorry, Ms. Serena Camarillo, can you share with me?
Yes, I'm sending a request right now and they'll forward it to the correct person.
Okay, let's see. Let me just put my notes here. I'm gonna let Dad know what I'm saying too. Oh, this computer's dead. Hold on, let's see. 4/26/20, one payment since February. Sending Dad to the fatherhood program. All right, right now I'm ordering you to pay. Ms. Frazier, just trust me on this. I'm not trying to reduce your child support order. I don't have the authority, but I'm ordering you to pay $65 per week until we come back to court. If you're doing side hustles, just try to get 65 per week. As close as that. If you do 60, then that's fine too. I just need to see some consistency of some payments. So if you've got a weekly hustle going on, you know, forget going out to eat, forget whatever, maybe taking that money and put that $60 a week into child support. I'm not reducing your order. I just need to see some consistency of some payments coming in. That's a goal. And also I want to see the status of the fatherhood program. I'm also encouraging you to just go get a job anywhere. License needs to be reinstated. Call them again, see if they still have anything available. If they have something available, then you can call child support, show them proof that you've been hired, and I think they work with you, and they'll go ahead and reinstate your license because you are showing them proof of employment. You got it, Mr. Webb?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So if you can just find something, we're going to reset the case. I'm going to put your case back on for a status update, just see if you're doing anything, if you're making any changes, and that's going to be at the end of May. Let me see my May schedules. May 24th right now is going to be the reset. That's get an update of progress of how it's going, what you're doing, fatherhood program enrollment, and things of that nature, just to kind of see where we are. So we'll see you guys back on May 24th. And I'm asking you to try to pay 60 to 65 a week into child support, not directly to mom. Everything's been set up now with child support to show some effort to try to pay child support payments on a weekly basis. Okay, Mr. Webb?
Yes, ma'am. And can I not be blocked so that I can communicate with my daughter?
Okay. Let's not, Ms. Frazier, I can't tell you what to do. I understand that you're frustrated with the child support.
He's not blocked. That's why I didn't respond. I'm not sure what that was about, but that's not true. You said to stay mute, so I'm going to stay mute.
Okay. The only thing that I would say, I mean, texting a daughter is not, in my opinion, communication. So just be consistent on the time that you're going to call. You're not blocked. You guys, let's not put the baby in the middle of this. I'm not saying mom is doing that. It doesn't seem she is, but dad's claiming it. So I'm just asking, this isn't my purview right now. I used to be a domestic lawyer for many years. I get it. But Mr. Webb, you have to do your part of stepping up financially as well. I'm glad you love your daughter and want to be in her life, but it's a two part. being her life and provide the support that she needs. All right. So we'll see you guys on May 24th. I'm expecting some weekly payments, Mr. Webb, fatherhood program. You'll receive notice of them. Check your spam for the next few days in case it goes to spam. Make sure you enroll in it. But more importantly, see if you can go get a job before we come back with an income deduction order. Call Express back, and if they can help you get employment, all you have to do is take that confirmation of employment letter, send it to child support. They'll reinstate your license, and then you can drive to wherever they may have employment available for you since you've gone through the process. That's my guidance to you. All right, see you guys on May 24th. Thank you. That concludes our hearing. And then I put in, Judge Thompson, I put in docket notes. I put all the information, so you can pull up the case with us if you're in EWI. Judge Thompson, I'm not sure if you are logged on or not. PP.
Judge, I've been trying to contact Mr. Webb and I haven't had any luck with that.
Okay. Dominic Webb versus Mr. Frazier. I'm going into EWI, pulling up the case, and I'm sharing this for Judge Thompson because she's kind of training on this calendar. And Judge Thompson, if you are logged into EWI, you just have to put all cases and then pull in the case number, which is the PP number. You were here in March. Same thing, express employment, 110 a week. He's in fatherhood.
Yeah, we were supposed to send him something from fatherhood, and they did that, but the records indicate he is not in this state.
Okay, let's bring Miss Frazier in, please. Okay. All right, let's turn Miss Webb's camera off for right now so she can get ready for
I'm Miss
court.
Frazier. I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm Miss Frazier, not Miss Webb.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, I know that you're working, but just give me.
Yes, ma'am. I just paused it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click later.
Okay. All right. So we're showing that Mr. Webb lives out of state. Are you aware of that?
No, ma'am. He actually lives here.
Okay. Miss Carson?
The information we have is an address not in this state.
Yes, ma'am. He actually does live here. He's actually tried to meet me to see my daughter. I declined. So he actually does live here.
All right. Well, I just had the whole conversation with that about parents. You know, child support is not connected to a relationship with the child. I'm just saying, not judging anybody, but if you know, the child, anyway, I'll let you guys handle that. They're not connected. It shouldn't be, I'm not letting you see my child if you're not paying child support. Just in my opinion, all the research we've done and all the courses, it's not in the best interest of the child, but if that's what you choose to do. So he's supposed to be paying $441 per month. Last time we were in court, I sent him to express employment. I encouraged him to try to pay something every week, and he has not made any payments since then. We did send him to the fatherhood program, but I don't have any updated information. And I already swore you in. So how do you know that he lives at the address that you gave us?
No, I don't know that he lives at that address, but I know he does live in the state of Georgia because the last time that we spoke, you asked him what county he lives in, and he said Fulton County. So he does live in the state of Georgia.
Okay, let's see. All right, well, there's been no payments. We tried to reach him. We're not able to reach him. So you cannot follow a magistrate. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and issue. He hasn't made any payments or come to court. I'm going to go ahead and issue the warrant. I think you've probably already signed it. So your case is going to be transferred to state court. You'll probably hear from the court in the next 8 months or so. It takes a long time for them to process your case, but we don't have jurisdiction over it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and issue the warrant. And Ms. Starks, can we confirm that she's already signed?
Yes, Judge, she has already signed.
All right, Ms. Frazier. So your case is turned over to state court. Everything will be handled by a state court judge. If you're familiar with you might want to look up the DeKalb County Odyssey. Once he's arrested, they'll take him into custody. He'll be released, and then should be notified when the case is going to trial, and everything will be handled in state court. For my reasons, he's not making any payments. I don't show any payments. There's no reason for me to continue to try to work with him.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All
okay.
right.
Take care. Okay,
thank you. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And I believe that covers all the cases on the calendar.